Hi guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. My name is Grace, the owner of BG Dressmaking Patterns, and on this channel, I create a lot of sew along videos which go with my sewing patterns which I have on my website, as well as some sewing vlogs, as well as sewing marathons. And today's video is going to be an addition to things I actually add to this channel, which is going to be like a series. So if you watch my previous video where I was organizing my fabrics, I talked about creating like a series in order for me to shop my stash because I have a lot of fabric, so it's time for me to start clearing that out. And today is going to be the first episode of that, so I decided to call it so that stash series. So it's going to be a destashing marathon series. Okay, and for today's video, I'm going to actually work with this fabric right here. Remember I showed you this fabric and said I bought like two of them. So this one is the one that has the ink stain on it. Where is that stain? So there's the one that has the stain on it right here. So thankfully it's in a place where I can snip it off and I'm good to go, rather than it being in the middle. And that happened when I left a pen close to it and the ink just bled onto the fabric. Okay, so for the series today, we are going to be sewing an outfit making using this fabric. I already have an idea of what I want to make in my head. I'm going to sketch it out because I don't really have I don't really have like a picture inspiration for it. But one thing I know I'm going to do is I'm going to be using a combination of the Amelia top as well as the Grace dress pattern. So for the bodies, which is the front and the back bodies, I'm going to be using the Amelia top to make that, and for the sleeves I'm going to be using the Grace dress pattern sleeves to make that. Okay, if you want to get any of those patterns, the link will be in the description box so you can sew along with me if that is something you're interested in. And another thing I want to do is I'm thinking about making this dress a maxi length dress. I don't know, but for some reason recently I've been into like maxi dresses. I mean, I've always been into maxi dresses, but ever since I got into sewing my own dresses, it just became more obvious, or yeah, I think that's the word to use. Anyways, so without talking too much, I'm going to just sketch out the idea I have in my head first of all before we then move on to the construction part of the outfits. All right, so I'm going to be using this. I just want something basic actually. Now we are done sketching out a rough detail for this. So now before we go into actually cutting the fabric and making the dress, let me talk about what design I have in mind now that it's been sketched out here. So obviously, like I said, I'm going to make this using the Amelia top bodice. So it's going to have like a sweetheart neck like this, and there's going to be a zip in front here, and the zip is going to stop like a few inches above the knee, so maybe somewhere around here. So from here it's going to be like a center front slit, and for this the only zip that I have that matches the fabric is an invisible zip. So and it really doesn't matter because yeah, that's fine. In as But although when you're making the top it calls for a separating zip, but since it's an invisible zip it isn't a separating zip, so it's still fine regardless. I'm going to like sew to a certain point and create the slit from there. It's going to come with the princess seam like the Amelia top comes with. Then for the puff sleeves, I'm going to be using the Grace dress puff sleeves for this. And the Grace dress puff sleeve comes with like an elastic here, but I'm still not entirely sure how I want the hem of the puff sleeves to look like. So I'm just going to figure that out as we move. Okay, and I don't want it to be too exaggerated too, so which is why the Grace dress puff sleeve is perfect, because it isn't like an exaggerated puff sleeves. Okay, and it's going to be a maxi length like you can see, and I'm thinking about making it in such a way that it's going to be like almost looking like a godette hem, but we'll see about that. Like that is what I have in mind actually. So yeah, Now for the back is going to look like this, and keep in mind that I'm not going to be using a bias tape, so I'm going to be sewing everything right sides facing each other. Now for the back, it's going to come with the strap to tie it at the back, to make for like the tightness and looseness of the dress depending on your preference. So that's just it for this. It looks like a simple dress, but yeah, filming is probably going to make it take longer than it should. But that is basically it for this. So now let's just go into cutting the fabrics. Okay, so now that I have gone ahead to like cut out the pattern piece, which is this right here. I cut out the pattern piece already and I've ironed the fabric. So it's time for us to pin and cut out the fabric. So because this fabric is quite see-through, so I'm going to underline it. But the underlining isn't going to be as long as the dress itself. So it's going to just be a few inches below my hip. But I'm going to cut this one out first. Then after I'm done cutting this one out, it will be easier for me to cut the underlining from this one. Hi guys, so today is the next day and I basically went ahead to cut everything like you saw me do last time. So today I want to go ahead to start sewing. I'm not entirely sure how long this is going to take. It's supposed to be a simple dress. However, I feel like I don't have my soju back on totally, so I'm just like taking it like one stitch at a time. Come with me to the table so that we can start working on the preparation for the sewing process. Okay, so this is the strap. It's a very long strip of fabric. So the reason why it's this long is because I also want to use this to like make the loop at the back. This is going to be used to make the loop at the back as well as make the strap at the back. Okay, so I'm just going to like fold it. With this fabric, it's kind of hard to tell the right or the wrong side, though I know. So what I'm going to do is just to fold it inward like so, then fold again. That way I create the strap. And now let's sew it down. Okay, so now that I've gone ahead to make the strap for this, so I'm going to actually get the loop to place at the back from the same strap. Now for the loop, I just want it to be enough to sew at the back and also have the loop casing. So I think this is enough. So I'm going to work with this. And this is how many inches? 2 inches basically. So I'm going to cut this, and from these I'm going to create 7 more because I need 1, 2, 3, 4. I need 8 in total. Okay, so now that I've gotten the loops, now I'm just going to keep this aside because we don't need this till the end of the sewing process. So first of all, I'm going to start off by pinning the center front and side fronts together and center back and side back together. And because this fabric, like I said initially, is quite see-through, you would need a lining. So rather than creating like a lining, I'm going to make an interlining. So basically like sewing the main fabric and the lining pieces together rather than sewing them separately, because the neckline is going to have an interfacing. And now I'm going to basically have the wrong side of the fabric facing the lining piece like so. Okay. Time for me to do the same thing to the front, and we go ahead to sew. Okay, so I've gone ahead to like sew the pieces together, and I went ahead to serge and press. So now for the top front part, I want to sew the zip to it. So I'm going to place it like this so that I have right sides together. So I have right sides facing upwards rather, and I'm going to be using this invisible zip. This. I'm creating marks at certain places just to make it easier and to make sure that I have the zip properly aligned too. Okay, so now that I've done that, it is time for me to place this here like so. Now those points I marked on the fabric, I'm transferring them to the zip. Okay, now that I've transferred it, I'm good. So open this like this and have right sides facing each other. Now I'm going to make sure I align the marked points. Okay, so I'm gonna head to like pin everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew it up both sides. Then after I'm done sewing that, I'm going to determine where I want the slit to start. Then I sew that one too and stop where I want the slit to start. Okay guys, it's currently like 9:30-ish, so it's getting late and I'm getting tired. However, I just want to sew as much as I can. I initially wanted to add pockets to these, but I think I'm just going to decide, I just decided against it rather and decided to just skip that part. So this is what it looks like in front. So now let me just zip it up. I just need to pin this on me first. Okay. As you can see, she is gradually taking shape. I think I already know where I'm going to make the slit stop at. I'm just going to make it stop like about half an inch below where this zip ends. Yeah, because I don't want it to be too low and I don't want it to be too high anyways. So I think that is okay, and yeah. Okay, so now that that has been established, let's go sew this. I'm going to sew this up and I'll attach the front and the back pieces together, and I think I'll call it a night for today. Then we'll resume this whole thing tomorrow, okay? So see you guys tomorrow, because I don't think I'm going to film this whole sewing this and attaching the front and back pieces together. So see you guys tomorrow. Okay, good morning. It's the next day and today we're going to continue. So like I said yesterday that I was going to sew the dress off camera, like attaching the front and back pieces together, and I also went ahead to go make the puff sleeves. I created a tutorial on that, so that's why you won't see anything about that probably on this channel, on this video rather. It's going to be like a separate video. I created a tutorial on that, but let me show you what the dress looks like. Okay, so this is what the dress looks like. So it's a bit loose on me. I mean, like I said, the top is actually designed to have a bit of ease, but since I sized up, it's way more loose, which is what I wanted. For the sleeves, I made the sleeves into this. You remember I said I wanted to have like straps, so I added elastic band and I also added the strap. So like, and this is what it looks like. So I actually do love the way the sleeves turned out. So yeah, this is actually what I had in mind from the sketch. So it came out beautifully. So now let us try the dress on. So in order for us to try the dress, I had to flip the camera. So like I told you, the dress has invisible zip this time around rather than like the separating zip that the top actually requests for, which is actually very nice because it then looks like I just sewed the center front rather than adding zip. So let's try the dress on. Okay, so this is what the dress looks like after you try it on. So what I need to do next is to attach the sleeves to the neckline and hem the dress, and also attach the loop that should go at the back here. And the dress is good. I actually love it like this, and this is what it will look like if I decided to draw the strings at the back, just in case I wanted a much more fitted look in front. So then the back would have like a ruched look at the back. And the thing about this is that I feel like this could also pass for like a maternity dress. Like you can see, all you probably need to do is to size up a bit, and yeah, it could pass for like a maternity dress as well. Then it's a very, very nice transition. So now let us go attach the sleeves to the dress, attach the neckline, the facing to the dress, hem the dress, attach the straps to the back, and we're going to call it good with this.
As we were driving, I watched the sunset fade inside your eyes. I started wishing right then and there that I could just stop time. It's silly, but you know me. Nostalgia runs right through my veins, and slowly the memories flooded with sadness unexplained. To tell you the truth, forever just won't do. There can't be enough life when it comes to loving you. Guys, when I tell you I absolutely love this dress. I absolutely love this dress. Like, I need to go back. Hold on. Let me flip this. Okay, look at this. Just look at this. This is so beautiful. A little commotion for the dress. Now the back of the dress, like this, I absolutely love. So you can barely tell that there's even a zip in front. As you can see, you can barely tell. Okay, it isn't until you see this little thing here. So, and who would believe I used the Ashley top to make this? So for that, then the gray sleeves for the puffy sleeves. Now this could actually make for a beautiful this is a beautiful maxi length. So much room here. If you don't want to tie the strap at the back. Now look at this. Let's tie the strap at the back. So obviously you're just going to pull this, right? So now you've got yourself a fitted looking dress at the waistline. Voila! And the back looks like this. This is what I envisioned and I got it. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. Let me do a little catwalk. Woo. Okay, so we've come to the end of this video. Let me know what you think about this dress. Would you make it yourself? Would you wear it? Let me know. I absolutely love it personally. And this might end up being my new favorite color. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I really hope you enjoyed this sew along vlog or the stashing series episode 1, and I hope to make more of this in the nearest future. And on a side note, you could leave me your recommendations below on like outfits you'd want me to recreate, and I would happily do that using the fabrics in my stash. So yeah, thank you guys so much once again, and I'll see you all next week. Bye.